It's really creepy. Everyone I showed it to is just like, whoa.
Ooh.
Welcome back to More Girls Next Door, the podcast where we revisit the iconic episodes of The Girls Next Door and ask the important questions. Questions like, were there ghosts in the Playboy Mansion? Did Bridget Marcourt actually earn a paranormal investigation degree? What happens when Bridget takes ghost hunting very seriously and Kendra absolutely does not? Today, we're recapping Season 2, Episode 12, Girls Will Be Ghouls, which aired October 14th, 2006. It's Halloween at the Playboy Mansion, the one time of year when dressing like a sexy nurse, sexy police officer, sexy devil, sexy schoolgirl, or sexy corpse bride somehow counts as participating in the holiday spirit. And if you've ever wanted to see Bridget Marcourt attempt legitimate paranormal research while carrying a flashlight through secret passageways beneath the Playboy Mansion, congratulations, this is your episode. But before we break out the EMF readers and blurry orb photos, it's time to crack open the Y2K vault. October 2006, America was absolutely obsessed with ghosts. Ghost hunters had become one of the biggest shows on cable television. Paranormal investigation groups were popping up everywhere. Every dusty photograph taken on a disposable camera was suddenly evidence of supernatural activity. Somewhere in every friend group, there was at least one person insisting that a blurry white circle floating near their cousin's shoulder was definitely the spirit of a Civil War soldier. No, Karen, it was just dust. It was always dust. Meanwhile, MySpace profiles were getting darker. Emo culture was peaking. Hot Topic was thriving. Everyone was either wearing black eyeliner or dating someone who was. And in Los Angeles, Bridget Marcourt was taking online courses in paranormal investigation and preparing to graduate. Which makes today's episode perfect, because while Bridget is searching for spirits in the Playboy Mansion, the real mystery might be why nobody seems concerned that a woman in her 30s is spending her free time hunting ghosts through secret tunnels while dressed as a French maid. Okay, guys, pipe down. I love Bridget. She's a bit of an easy target sometimes, but don't get it twisted. Love her. Now kick off your candies, hang up your trucker hat, and silence your sidekicks. Let's get into Girls Will Be Ghouls.
Halloween is by far my favorite holiday here. Living here at the Playboy Mansion, I get to indulge all my Halloween fantasies and share it with somebody else who loves it too. All right, I'm gonna change. It's a holiday where you can go all out. You can be as themed as you want to be, and you can be whoever you want to be. It's a great opportunity to see real ghosts.
The episode opens with flashing strobe lights, fog machines, skeletons, corpses popping out of coffins, and enough Halloween decorations to terrify a small suburban neighborhood. One thing you can say about the Playboy Mansion is that when they committed to a theme, they committed. The mansion's annual Halloween party was legendary. By many accounts, it was actually one of the best parties Playboy hosted all year. Christmas was classy. Midsummer Night's Dream was glamorous. But Halloween was chaos. The good kind. And naturally, nobody is more excited than Bridget. As we know by now, Bridget doesn't merely enjoy decorating. She approaches decorating the way NASA approaches a moon launch. Every holiday is an event, every theme is a lifestyle. Every room deserves its own backstory, and Halloween is Bridget's Super Bowl. Bridget explains that Halloween presents the greatest opportunity to see real ghosts. Okay, Bridget. Because in Bridget's world, ghosts apparently operate on a seasonal schedule. Holly says she'd like to believe in ghosts, but doesn't think she's going to find out whether they're real during her lifetime. Kendra, meanwhile, immediately shuts down the whole thing. She doesn't believe in ghosts, but Bridget has evidence. or at least what she believes is evidence. She explains that she's captured orbs in photographs taken inside the mansion and considers them proof of paranormal activity. Kendra responds with a mocking little, "Ooh." And honestly, I'm with Kendra here. Anyone who survived the digital camera era captured approximately 17,000 mysterious orbs. The paranormal explanation was always much more exciting than the actual explanation, which was usually dust, moisture, fingerprints, or a camera lens begging for help. But Bridget isn't deterred, because she's currently working toward an online paranormal investigator certification and needs to complete an investigation before graduation. Yes, that sentence is real. And Playboy cameras are documenting it. She recruits Holly to help because Holly once had what might have been a supernatural experience.
Everyone says that the mansion is haunted, so I 100% believe there is a ghost here at the mansion.
I was working out one day, and I saw this girl walk by, and she disappeared. But that could have been because I rarely work out, and working out maybe caused me to have a brain attack.
According to Holly, she was exercising in the mansion gym when she saw a woman walk by and disappear. The show adds screeching sound effects and spooky music because subtlety has never been one of reality television's strengths. Then Holly follows up with, "But it could have been because I don't work out very often and my brain just had an attack." A paranormal encounter or just cardio? The eternal debate. Either way, Bridget is determined to investigate. The two head down to the gym armed with flashlights and a camcorder. Holly demonstrates exactly where she saw the mysterious woman. Then she reveals one of the mansion's coolest architectural secrets. Part of the floor-to-ceiling mirror is actually a hidden door leading to a secret passageway. And suddenly the episode gets way more interesting. Because for decades, rumors have circulated about secret tunnels beneath the Playboy Mansion. Stories emerged claiming underground passageways connected the mansion to celebrity homes throughout Holmby Hills and Beverly Hills. Names like Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, and Kirk Douglas were frequently attached to the rumors. The alleged tunnels supposedly allowed discreet movement between homes, which sounds incredibly scandalous. Unfortunately for conspiracy theorists, when mansion blueprints eventually surfaced years later, no evidence of those celebrity tunnels appeared. What did exist were various service passages and hidden corridors throughout the property. Still, the idea of secret tunnels beneath the Playboy Mansion remains one of those stories that's simply too fun to die. And honestly, a hidden mirror door leading to a secret hallway already sounds like something a 12-year-old would design after being given unlimited money, which makes it perfectly on brand for Playboy. In the next scene, a black limousine arrives at the mansion, and out steps a genuine Halloween icon.
Elvira is the ultimate spooky Halloween horror movie host. And she's coming to the mansion to promote her DVD, Playboy's Halloween Spooktacular.
Well, believe it or not, the best place to be if you're looking for real thrills and chills on Halloween is at Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion. I should live here.
Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And if you're younger than Kendra and wondering who Elvira is, allow me to explain. Before social media influencers, before goth TikTok, goth talk, before every Halloween store carried 12 aisles of fake spiderwebs, there was Elvira. Created and portrayed by Cassandra Peterson, Elvira became a pop culture phenomenon during the 1980s through horror movie hosting specials that combined spooky camp, razor-sharp humor, and one of the most recognizable looks in entertainment history. The towering black beehive, the plunging black dress, the sarcastic one-liners, the confidence. She wasn't just a horror host, she was Halloween. And interestingly, she had a long relationship with Playboy. Many people assume Elvira posed nude for Playboy, but she didn't. In fact, Playboy reportedly offered Cassandra Peterson one of the largest sums they'd ever offered a celebrity at the time, second only to Farrah Fawcett, to pose nude, and she turned them down. Instead, she appeared in costume and collaborated on various projects while maintaining complete control over the character. A decision that, looking back, seems incredibly smart. And by the way, the woman is now in her 70s. If you haven't seen recent photos of Cassandra Peterson, stop this podcast when you're done and look her up. It's honestly the most convincing evidence of supernatural activity featured in this entire episode. She looks incredible. No seance required. Bridget explains that Elvira is visiting the mansion to promote Playboy's Halloween Spooktacular DVD. The first person Elvira encounters is Kendra. Now, to be fair, Kendra is only 21 years old here. Elvira's biggest cultural moment happened years before Kendra would have been paying attention to anything besides sports, rap music, and figuring out how to get out of going to class. So Kendra freely admits she doesn't really know who Elvira is. But because Kendra possesses the unique ability to speak to literally anyone as if they've been friends for life, she immediately launches into conversation.
So welcome. What do you plan on doing today?
I'm here promoting stuff. Promoting the Playboy special.
Are you gonna be here for Halloween?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Guess who else is gonna be here?
Who?
Too Short.
Oh my God.
You know who Too Short is?
No.
He's a rapper and stuff.
Well, just remember, it's hard out there for a pimp.
That's right.
That's right, so don't
That
forget
is
that.
right. I think Elvira had such a great sense of humor. I think she was so funny. Boobs hanging out. It was kind of hot.
Within seconds, she's informing Elvira that rapper Too Short will be attending the mansion Halloween party. And I absolutely love imagining Elvira trying to process this interaction. Here is a woman who built an entire career around gothic horror, haunted mansions, and B-movie monsters. And Kendra's contribution to the conversation is essentially, cool, hey, Too Short's coming tonight. It's like two completely different television channels accidentally crossing signals. Meanwhile, Hef joins Elvira and discusses the promotional plans for the DVD. He introduces her to Holly and Bridget before making one of his signature jokes. "We're talking about Elvira moving in as a new girlfriend. What do you think?" The camera immediately cuts to Holly's confessional, and if eye-rolling were an Olympic sport, she'd be standing on the podium draped in gold medals. Because by season 2, Holly has heard every version of this joke, every variation, every punchline. And unlike the audience, she doesn't get to hear it once. She gets to hear it repeatedly for years. The joke lands with all the enthusiasm of a corporate training video. Meanwhile, Bridget remains blissfully focused on what actually matters. Elvira, the icon, the legend, the Halloween queen. Hef and Elvira pose for promotional photographs, while Bridget lurks nearby in a sexy Red Devil costume, waiting for the perfect opportunity to jump into a photo. And I respect it. We've all had moments where we tried to casually position ourselves near someone we admired, while fangirling out to the point of spontaneous combustion. Bridget just happens to be doing it while dressed as Satan. Eventually, Elvira notices her. Remaining completely in character, she asks, "Now, are you always dressed like the devil?" It's one of those perfectly delivered Elvira lines that sounds both complimentary and insulting at the exact same time. A rare talent. Later, we learn about one of the mansion's annual traditions, pumpkin carving night. Friends, playmates, and girlfriends gather to eat, drink, socialize, and carve pumpkins together. Which sounds pretty wholesome. And compared to many mansion activities, it kind of is. Holly arrives dressed as Raggedy Ann. Former girlfriend Stacy Burke appears in a sexy Renaissance costume. Bridget is dressed as a French maid. Everyone begins scooping pumpkin guts, and no matter how glamorous reality television tries to make things look, nobody has ever looked dignified elbow deep in pumpkin slime. Kendra arrives late, naturally, but she's wearing a sexy referee costume. If there were a costume that perfectly summarized Kendra's personality, it's probably that one. Sports adjacent, teensy shorts, whistle included. Later on in Bridget's room, she pulls a book from her shelf called Encyclopedia of Haunted Places. No joke. This is actually homework, because Bridget has arranged a haunted Hollywood tour for her paranormal investigation coursework. And the transportation? A hearse. Like a legit hearse.
See where blonde bombshell Marilyn Monroe breathed her last breath, and then pay your respects to this Hollywood icon at her final resting place.
I'm not going to that graveyard.
Holly does not want to go to the Marilyn Monroe gravesite because Hef is going to be buried next to her, and she just really doesn't want to see that. I knew you probably wouldn't want to do that, so we can probably customize it how we want to.
The girls begin discussing possible destinations. One suggestion is Marilyn Monroe's crypt. But Holly says no, she doesn't want to visit Marilyn Monroe's gravesite. The reason? Hugh Hefner had already purchased the crypt directly beside Marilyn Monroe, and that's where he intended to be buried. Now, this story deserves a little context. Marilyn Monroe and Playboy will be forever linked because Marilyn appeared in the very first issue of Playboy magazine in 1953. Her photographs helped launch the publication into a cultural phenomenon. But here's the complicated part. Marilyn never actually posed for Playboy. The photographs were originally taken years earlier and then licensed without her participation in the magazine itself. Still, Hef frequently credited Marilyn's appearance with helping create Playboy's success. Over the years, he often spoke about feeling connected to her legacy. So in 1992, he purchased the crypt beside hers at Westwood Memorial Park, a decision that many people have found romantic. Others have found slightly strange, particularly because they never actually met, not once. Yet decades later, he chose to spend eternity next door. Whatever your opinion, Holly clearly isn't enthusiastic about making it a tourist stop. So instead, they choose another location. One tied to one of Los Angeles' most infamous unsolved crimes, the Black Dahlia. And that story is frightening enough without any ghosts involved.
Hi, George.
How you been?
Good. George Barris is the ultimate customizing guy. He customizes cars out. He's done like the Batmobile, the Munsters coach, even James Dean's old cars. And so I have asked George if he could customize rims for me that actually have a bunny head in the center of it with like a rhinestone eye. I want everyone to drive by and be like, whoa, check out those rims.
You'll be blinded. Boy, look at that one.
Bridget heads to visit legendary custom car designer George Barris. And if you've never heard of George Barris, you've definitely seen his work. Barris was essentially the Walt Disney of custom cars, the king of custom cars, the man responsible for creating some of the most famous vehicles in television and movie history. The original 1966 Batmobile, the Munster coach, Kit from Knight Rider, the General Lee, and the list goes on and on. For decades, Hollywood called George Barris whenever they needed a vehicle that looked cooler than reality, and George delivered. Bridget, being a lifelong Playboy fan, has brought her new cherry red Porsche in for a custom touch. She wants Playboy bunny rims, actual chrome bunny head center caps, which feels exactly like something Bridget would spend money on. While she's there, George shows her another creation, a custom purple glitter hearse known as the Gargoyle. Part hearse, part hot rod, part fever dream. And this very vehicle will be transporting the girls on their haunted Hollywood tour. Because if you're going ghost hunting in Los Angeles, why not arrive looking like a haunted Lisa Frank sticker? Back at the mansion, it's finally time to prepare for the tour. Bridget changes into a Playboy schoolgirl costume, an actual officially licensed Playboy costume that was sold to consumers. Holly unveils one of her most famous costumes, the Jackie Ho, a sexy version of the pink suit worn by Jacqueline Kennedy on the day President Kennedy was assassinated.
And I designed it, but it had to be sexy because I'm here at the mansion. So I thought I'd call it Jackie Ho. I think Jackie Ho is a good costume for me because Jackie O was First Lady of the White House, and I'm the First Lady of the Playboy Mansion.
Created by Holly herself, the costume would later become an official Playboy product. And look, I know some people consider the costume controversial, but compared to modern celebrity Halloween costumes, it's honestly pretty tame. At least Holly didn't cover herself in fake blood. Somewhere, Julia Fox is catching a stray and doesn't even know it. In Kendra's room, she prepares for the haunted tour by putting on jeans and a t-shirt that simply says, "Go to hell," which may actually be the funniest costume choice in the entire episode. Everyone else spent weeks planning. Kendra walked into the closet. The hearse eventually arrives at the mansion, and not just any hearse, the Gargoyle. The girls climb aboard and begin their haunted Hollywood adventure. Their first major stop is Norton Avenue, a quiet residential street that happens to be one of the most infamous locations in Los Angeles history, because this is where the body of Elizabeth Short, better known as the Black Dahlia, was discovered in January 1947. If you are unfamiliar with the case, it's one of the most notorious unsolved murders in American history. Elizabeth Short was a 22-year-old aspiring actress who had moved to Southern California chasing the same Hollywood dream pursued by thousands before her. Instead, her death became front-page news across the country. Her body was discovered in a vacant lot, horrifically mutilated and deliberately posed. The details were so shocking that newspapers sensationalized the story for months. The nickname Black Dahlia was created by reporters, and despite decades of investigations, suspects, theories, books, documentaries, and amateur sleuths, the crime remains officially unsolved. Nearly 80 years later, people are still trying to figure out what happened. Standing there at that location, it's easy to understand why the story continues to fascinate people. Not because of the ghosts, but because some mysteries refuse to stay buried.
We are going to see where the Black Dahlia was murdered. The Black Dahlia is one of the most famous murder cases in LA because it was about this girl who was cut in half and cut all up, and her blood was drained, and then she was dumped in a vacant lot, and they never found her killer.
There's your fire plug, there's a driveway.
From there, the group heads to another legendary Los Angeles location, the Alexandria Hotel. Now, if those walls could talk, they'd probably need legal representation. Built in 1906, the Alexandria was once one of the most luxurious hotels in Los Angeles. During Hollywood's early years, it hosted movie stars, politicians, socialites, and wealthy businessmen. For a time, it was considered the place to be seen. But as Los Angeles expanded and wealth migrated westward, the hotel slowly declined. Over the decades, it developed a reputation for paranormal activity. Guests reported unexplained noises, apparitions, shadow figures, strange sensations. Bridget, naturally, is thrilled. "I want to be scared," she says. "I'm an adrenaline junkie." And I believe her, because most adrenaline junkies jump out of airplanes. Bridget voluntarily spends her weekends searching abandoned buildings for Victorian ghosts. Inside the hotel's breathtaking ballroom, Holly and Bridget quietly admire the architecture. The stained glass ceiling, the ornate detailing, the original brass fixtures, the history, the atmosphere. It's gorgeous. Then Kendra opens her mouth. Aren't they ever going to redo this place? The room practically freezes. The hotel representative looks at her like she just suggested repainting the Mona Lisa. Everything in here is 100 years old, he replies. And I laugh every time. This moment perfectly captures the difference between Holly and Bridget versus Kendra. Holly and Bridget see history. Kendra sees something that hasn't been remodeled recently.
Ooh. It's definitely said to be haunted.
Yep. And
This is neat.
So cool. Oh, look at the pretty stained glass.
Everything's all original. It's all 100 years old.
Wow.
aren't they ever thinking about redoing this?
Everything in here is 100 years old.
If they redid this, it'd be such a nice hotel.
Eventually, the tour concludes and the girls head back to the mansion. And now it's time. The event. The reason this entire episode exists. Playboy's annual Halloween party. By the time they return, the mansion looks like Halloween exploded. Skeletons, spider webs, zombies, monsters, coffins, fog machines, animatronics lurking behind every corner. Everything designed to either delight you or give you a mild cardiac event. The production value, it's incredible. This wasn't somebody hanging a few decorations from Party City. This was a full-scale haunted attraction. The kind of event that makes neighborhood Halloween displays look like they forgot to try.
The Playboy Halloween party is without question the best Halloween party ever held in the history of mankind. And Hef just loves it. He loves all the monsters and stuff.
The mansion looks awesome for the Halloween party.
The whole place is just turned into like a haunted house.
We see Bridget being painted completely blue from head to toe for her corpse bride costume. And I give her credit, nobody commits harder. If a costume requires 6 hours of preparation, professional body paint, and minor emotional suffering, Bridget's in. Holly reveals that she's dressing as Cinderella. That's just not surprising at all. It's Holly elegance. Holligance. Meanwhile, in Kendra's room, we find her twerking in front of the mirror while dressed as sexy G.I. Jane, complete with a plastic machine gun. As the guests begin arriving, the episode turns into a game of Celebrity Halloween Where's Waldo? Playmates, friends, athletes, actors, musicians, everyone either looks terrifying or half-dressed. There's literally no middle ground. Holly mentions one of the reasons celebrities love the mansion's Halloween party. Costumes provided anonymity. In fact, she recalls that the previous year, Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire reportedly attended wearing old man masks, and no one recognized them. Imagine being one of the most famous people in the world and finally getting one evening where nobody asks for a photo.
Hi, Huff. We love you. Happy Halloween.
Halloween is a favorite party for celebrities to show up because they can dress in costume and not be harassed. So like last year, Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire showed up in old man masks and nobody knew it was them.
No wonder they came. Hef sticks with his traditional costume, his red silk smoking jacket, devil horns, done. Every year, no confusion, no elaborate makeup, no body paint, just enough effort to technically qualify as participating. It's very Hef, plus, let's be real, he doesn't want to be incognito. He wants all the kingdom to recognize the man who made all of this happen. Soon the girls make their grand staircase entrance, one of the signature moments of every mansion party. And as they descend the staircase, the crowd erupts. Bridget as Corpse Bride, Holly as Cinderella, Kendra as G.I. Jane. 3 completely different approaches to Halloween, 3 completely different personalities, one very strange household. The group moves through the custom-built haunted house attraction. Then it's on to the dance floor. We spot Jenny McCarthy dressed as a French maid. Paris and Nikki Hilton as sexy kitten and forest nymph float through the party. Playmates, celebrities, costumes ranging from gorgeous to genuinely confusing. The usual mansion mix. And maybe that's why this particular mansion event works so well. Because unlike many of the traditions we see throughout the series, Halloween actually gives all 3 women something they genuinely enjoy. For Bridget, it's an entire holiday built around imagination. Decorations, costumes, haunted houses, ghost stories, theme parties. It's basically her love language. For Holly, it's a chance to create. She isn't just putting on a costume, she's designing a character, building a look, finding a clever reference that people will either immediately understand or spend the entire night trying to figure out. And for Kendra, it's a giant party where no one expects her to sit still, behave, or pretend to care about things she doesn't care about. It's dancing, it's music, it's friends, it's fun. No etiquette lessons, no formal dinners, no pressure. Just a reason to stay out late and act ridiculous. For one night, nobody is trying to fit into somebody else's version of who they should be. The pink-loving ghost hunter gets to be a corpse bride. The creative observer gets to be a princess. And the former tomboy from San Diego gets to run around carrying a fake machine gun and call it a costume. Oddly enough, Halloween may be the one mansion tradition that actually fits all 3 women equally well. Nobody is competing. Nobody is feeling left out. Nobody is worried about where they stand. They're just having fun. And considering some of the emotional landmines we've already seen this season, that's almost more surprising than finding a ghost.
I had such an amazing time at the Halloween party.
Nothing means more to me than shaking my ass, and that's what Halloween is all about.
Nothing beats the Halloween party here at the Playboy Mansion. It's to die for.
As the episode wraps up, Holly says she had a great time at the Halloween party. Kendra says that nothing means more to her than shaking her ass, and that's what Halloween is all about. And Bridget delivers the final line. Nothing beats the Playboy Mansion Halloween party because it's to die for. Ladies and gentlemen, she waited an entire episode for that one. It was worth it. Thank you all so much for joining me for this episode of More Girls Next Door. If you're enjoying the podcast, please follow, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a former Girls Next Door fan. Stay tuned because next time we'll be diving into another episode and another layer of what was really happening beneath the surface of reality television's most famous mansion. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.
The bricks.